Hello and welcome to Frostpunk 2. I'm Shadow Coast, and in this video we're going to outline several tips and tricks to help you get started on your Frostpunk 2 journey. We are going to use the Prologue mission to outline these to help avoid, hopefully, any spoilers. Tip number 1 is on Frostbreaking. In the bottom right here, we will have to Frostbreak to expand into new areas to build, districts, and access key resources. Now, when we hover over Frostbreaking here, we can see that this costs 300 workforce and 30 scraps. Our workforce is in the top left, and up here we see scraps. Now, one of the key things to note about Frostbreaking is that we can Frostbreak as long as we have enough workforce and scraps. So I do recommend that you Frostbreak several times in several different directions towards several different resources, because time is of the essence. So here you can see I'm teeing up several while I have it paused here. So I'm working in multiple directions. So that is tip number 1, that you can Frostbreak multiple times. It's not like just one, it's really based off of the workforce and scrap resources you have. So keep that in mind and use that to your advantage to Frostbreak as many times and in many different directions as possible. Now, it is important to note that you can't Frostbreak from areas that are not Frostbroken yet, so keep that in mind. So we're going to help get this started by moving forward. Tip number 2 is using your relations here. So as you have different populations, when you click on them, you will have different abilities. So for example, let's say we run out of scrap to Frostbreak and we need some scrap. We don't need it now, but this is for example purposes. We can come over here and take favors and gain 165 scrap instantly, sacrificing some of our relationship. On the other hand, we can give up more scrap if we have an excess to improve relationships. So make sure you manage that. And finally here, this will be critical in the prologue, and along the way, we can actually tighten belts so people eat less, and that reduces, here you can see, it reduces the consumption of food. So keep that in mind. So make sure that you are clicking on your different groups and leveraging their abilities to your play style as well as your needs based off what you're facing. So that is tip number 2. Tip number 3, when you are building, make sure you're augmenting bonuses. So for example purposes here, we are going to use housing district to show you this. So you see this near generator plus 20 heat, we can actually stack these. And now we've maxed out our bonuses here, and then we can kind of expand. Now, one thing that's important here is that building on buildings will expand your ability. So we're going to outline this here shortly. Once this is done, we're going to pause. I'm going to build another housing district. You can see here I can actually gain it from here. Now, I haven't frostbroken this area yet, so let me go ahead and do that for this example. We're trying to move quickly here. There we go. Let's frostbreak this very quickly, just so I can show this example. Housing district, now it's open. You can see here I'm expanding my bonuses, and there we go. So make sure you're expanding those bonuses as you're building different districts, augmenting it. Now this will become more applicable when you have resource tiles that are next to each other, so that'll impact your build where you're going to want to augment any bonuses as you come by them. So that is tip number 3. Leverage your bonuses and make sure you augment them as you build out in different directions. Now, some final thoughts here, because we're trying to keep this video short. Make sure in the top right you're looking at what the weather has in store here. This is very important because you might want to augment and reallocate people to certain areas, so you might deactivate districts to increase your workforce to then prioritize them other ways. This is a lot different than Frostpunk, so you might have to get used to it. But remember, you're managing your districts, turning them off and on, making sure you're allocating your workforce, I guess, indirectly as I kind of view it, versus clicking on individual structures and assigning people. So keep that in mind. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If there are other cool tips and tricks, please drop them in the comments. And if you did find this video informative, please drop a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Shadow Coast out.